Hey everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to be making a more seasonally inspired dish. We're going to be making a soup. It's actually the first soup I've ever made, so I'm really excited to share it with you and sort of my experience with the whole process. But it's very rewarding, and it makes like 6 cups worth of soup, so you can have it over the next few days, just sort of chip away at it. But turns out really amazing. If you like Thai-inspired curries, you're gonna love this because it's a curried butternut squash soup. And there's only like 7 ingredients, so it's nothing crazy. Working with the butternut squash can be tricky, but with a little bit of self-awareness and attention, then we shouldn't be in any trouble here. But don't tell me that you don't have a blender when you can go on Facebook at any moment, buy a $20 blender from someone down the street, and make all the soups that I'll make for for whatever, or whoever else you watch make soups. And yeah, so no excuse. If you don't have one now, that's fine. Just sort of save this recipe on YouTube or whatever for the moment that you do. Maybe ask for one for Christmas. Yeah, that's great. Just so you can start making more versatile dishes. And this is great to share with people. Nothing like a good warm soup during the winter time, especially using seasonal ingredients. So let's get cooking. All right, so now for the ingredients. We're gonna get a pretty, I would say, medium-sized butternut squash. It's probably like 13 inches, 14 inches. Some vegetable stock, coconut milk, some sambal or chili garlic paste, some shallot, and some garlic. And not to forget, we got ourselves this curry powder. I got it from Trader Joe's, if that matters to you. All right, and now we're gonna cut the shallot open, just like we would a red onion. But to reveal, if you haven't cooked with shallots before, what looks like 2 little red onions hugging. I'm not one to get in the middle of love, but for the name of good food, I'll pretty much do anything. Here I go again. This new cutting technique. Pretty obsessed, honestly. But I'm actually using an older knife of mine that I basically learned to cook with and sort of learned most of my, I guess, fundamentals of cooking. And it kind of feels like what I would assume people who play with like their old guitar or like old drum set would feel like. So it's a very nostalgic thing for me. And now for the part that pretty much everybody hates doing. Just sort of disregard the fact that I already peeled the other one. Doesn't really matter though. Oh, there it is. So this technique I'm using here is called a brunoise. Sort of getting yourself set up for a nice mince there. I'm not going super fine on the mince, and that's really important that the shallots and garlic are around the same size, so they cook at the same rate. And if the garlic is too small, we risk burning it really quickly in the oil. And now to prepare our butternut squash, which is tonight's problem child. So I'm going to use the speed peeler here, and this is kind of like a USB thing where you always flip it over to the wrong side. And yeah. After further review, this is a very hard thing to listen to. It's way higher pitched. Sort of trim up the bottom. Now we're going to cut this into more manageable pieces because, as you can see, it is round and that is not safe to cut. Yeah, don't do that. You want that, not this, okay? No. And look at that color. I mean, that's just the color of fall, if you ask me. That's why we're here. And count down to eat your squash in 3, 2... Now, if you've never worked with butternut squash, just like my roommate, to your amazement, you'll open it up to find what looks like a small pumpkin. or cantaloupe maybe. Maybe, yeah. I think it's actually a little closer to a cantaloupe considering size. Anyway, so we're just going to scoop all that out. So be really careful because this becomes frictionless. And as you'll see here, I get pretty frustrated. Jesus. We got 2 cups of vegetable stock to put in as well with the coconut milk. So here, I preheated the pan for far too long, kind of got sidetracked. And as you can see here, started to smoke intensely. This is not something you can really recover from. So what I would do, instead of this misguided optimism of trying to salvage it with sunflower oil, I would recommend just taking it off the heat in general. Once it's cooled off a bit, pour the oil into the sink. Cool oil, because you don't want to pour super hot oil into a sink. It'd be crazy. Anyway, starting over, we're going to have this on medium-high heat again. Throw some olive oil in it. Start sweating our garlic and shallots. We're going to keep these moving at medium heat to make sure that they don't burn. We just want them to become sort of golden, sort of translucent. And then once they're at that point, you're going to throw in all of your squash. It's roughly 6 cups of butternut squash. And then our curry powder, which didn't look like enough to me. I added a bit more. Probably going to be around a tablespoon and a half. So now we're just going to stir to combine that curry powder. We're going to pop a lid on top of it and cook it again on medium heat for about 6 minutes until everything gets a little bit of color on them, stirring occasionally. Making sure to put the lid back on in between stirs. And once you see some good color on them, throw in your coconut milk and your stock. Mix that around. Then we're going to throw in our chili and garlic paste. We're going to bring it up to a simmer and let it go for around 15 minutes or until fork tender pieces of squash. As you can see, forkers do that pretty easily. Now we're just going to take it off the heat. We can keep the cover on it for now. But we're going to now pour it into our blender. And then shamefully scoop some out after you realize that your blender has a max fill line. Now, I'm just going to I always put a towel on top just in case any comes through the top. We're just going to gradually increase the speed, put it on high for about 10 seconds, and we've got an incredible soup ready to go here. Time for some plating. I'm just going to use some more coconut milk, which is obviously already in it, so I think it's a good complement. It's a great contrast, so I think it looks really nice. A little cilantro kind of goes with the whole curry theme, and an herbal touch to the whole dish, and some red pepper flakes because I just like everything as hot as possible for the most part. Call me a masochist, I don't care. Call me what you want, but I'm gonna go eat this. Look at that. We got ourselves a fall-inspired soup here. Everyone seems to be making it across social media, so I just wanted to show everyone how to do it. Anyway, if you're liking the videos, please like, subscribe, comment, share with everyone you know, and I'll see you later.